Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. I think you know, if you watch my channel, that Rich and I just got back from a trip, and it got me thinking about our travel journal and how I do it maybe as compared to other people, and I thought I would share our system because I think it is a little bit different than other people's. The first thing I will tell you is you should definitely put in your inside cover something where it gives you your emergency contact and who to call, or your address if you lose your journals, because you don't want to lose this, and if you do, you want someone to find it. And in the case of an emergency, you want them to be able to have contact name and numbers for them to get in touch with you or with them for you. I always put photos of our dogs inside my albums just because I like to be able to remember them when I'm gone. I miss them, and so I know it's only a week or 2 weeks, but I miss them, and so I want photos. We also have bucket list things that we've always wanted to do. So one of them is we want to see all of all of the states in the U.S. So this is our list of the states that we haven't gone to, and I update it in each journal as I change, from year to year. These journals only go back to 2004. I have many more along the way. I would recommend that you put your journal in your travel carry-on because it's really easy to A, forget to bring it in general, and B, forget to bring the things that you'll need to go along with it. And for me, the things I like to bring along with it are a couple decent pens. I'm not talking anything spectacular, just ones I'm sure will write, and I like to bring a glue stick so that as something happens where I collect a flyer or a card or anything, business cards, that I can put it in there without having it fall all over the place. So those are my initial tips. Then, as I think I already said, I like to have photos of the dogs in each one of my journals. And I date the outside of the journals so I kind of know the order they're in. And I put things inside like photos of things I love and restaurants I really enjoy going to on certain trips, especially for places that we revisit like St. Martin. Then inside, I also have had problems, and this is why I recommend that you put this in your carry-on, where I've not remembered to bring my journal, so I've had to make do with, this is stationery from a bed and breakfast we stayed in when I forgot my journal, and I have more in here of things that we didn't things that we didn't remember. Then we were in New York City for 4th of July one year, and I thought that was cool, and it was in the newspaper, so I cut it out and put it in the journal. And we went on a big Mediterranean cruise for our 25th anniversary. So rather than have photos of Egypt, I put the postcards inside that I could have sent to other people, but instead thought I could use them in there instead. And then, of course, more dog photos because you can't go without your dogs. Here's another year where I forgot my journal, and I could only find this cheap notepad, and I kept track of everything in here. It came in really handy. The things I wanted to tell you about that I think are important on a trip are things like, for us, we really like to keep track of food that we really liked, stores that we really liked, and restaurants that we really liked. And so we try to get business cards, and we try to get maps of areas that we had fun in. We also were in Kansas City when they won the World Series. Was it Kansas City that won the World Series that year? Must have been. We did 4 states in that trip, and it was a few years ago now, and I just wanted to make sure that was who won. I feel kind of guilty, but we were there when they won. That was really a lot of fun. And so, like I said, I keep track of things like that. I also put maps in here of places we've been. I keep really important, something that you should take with you, are the names and addresses of the people that you would send postcards to. I just glue it in the back of each one of my journals, move it from journal to journal so that I have it, so that if I do eventually send postcards, I have the information right in there. Then the other thing that I do is I keep things at the end of every trip. I keep my favorite moment from the trip, and I keep our favorite foods from that trip and where we got them from. And I'm trying to find one of them. Here we go. It's falling apart. Oh, if we go somewhere that has gambling, we keep track during the week of how we're doing, and usually we're donating. So I put that in there too, and I circle it, which is kind of funny. Let me see if I can find one of the ones where I put in here. Here are the things that we did at this trip that we really loved, and at the end of this trip, my favorite moment was that a huge iguana walked in front of us and stood at the pool. I do have photos of it, but I didn't put them in. I don't know why, but I do have photos of it. So we always put in our 3 favorite foods and our favorite moment of the trip. And I think that's really important because each trip has its own things that you want to remember, and so I really like that I have these memories, because so much of this stuff you forget. This is actually my favorite memento from any trip, and I found this a while ago. My father passed away in 1994, and my parents and Rich and I and his parents went on a trip to Myrtle Beach in 1985, and this was our anniversary, and we were at the Santa Fe station, and at the end of the meal my dad just handed me this. It was just something cute that he would do, and I kept it, and years and years later I found it after he had passed, and so it was just such a great memento, and so I kept it, and it's my favorite thing I've ever kept from a trip. So I guess I don't know if I need to tell you anything else. I wanted to cover everything about like how I do it, and I think I did that. Just keep a daily log. Make sure you get and matchbooks or postcards or business cards from restaurants or stores that you like, and glue them in your book, and then when you get back you don't have to glue anything in. It's already glued in there because you remembered your glue stick. And again, at the very end of every trip, I always rate our favorite 3 foods that we ate and our favorite moment from the trip. And this year, on our St. Martin trip, is the first year I had blinged up my journal, and this was just your basic book, and I painted it black and put a bunch of embellishments on it, and as you can see, my writing's gotten bigger over the years. Oh, one other thing I recommend is if you find something that you think you might want to buy, but you don't want to buy it on the spot, I write myself notes. I say, check out these watches, because Rich loves watches. So I just put a note in there, and that was out of a little magazine. And then I also put in any kind of flyers of things I might want to refer to later, and in this case they have this booklet called St. Martin Nights, and in it is a list of all of the hotels that you can go to, and I thought if in the future I needed to find a different place to stay, I would be able to just go to, I could just reference it. This is where to dine, but I know that where to stay is also in here. And these books are always great. If you get them, if you travel anywhere, like you go to an airport, usually they'll have a bunch of those brochures. I recommend picking them up because they usually have a lot of really good coupons in them for restaurants and gambling, things like that. But that is, in a nutshell, hopefully, my travel journal recommendations. Oh, one last thing. if you get something like this that you get on a trip, this was from Turkey, and these were from Greece, and they work as a bookmark. They're perfect to put in your travel journal, because then you won't have to figure out what to do with them when you get home. You've already got them attached to your journal, and you'll always remember where you have them, because inside your journal you wrote that in there. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And my goal for 2017 is that I'm asking everybody that likes my videos if you'll just tell one other person about a video. Just forward the video to somebody and say, I really like this video, and hopefully that will grow my channel. So I hope that's not asking too much, but I'm trying to figure out ways to grow the channel, and that's one that I've come up with. And I have two other 2017 resolutions. My first one, I'm going to use my vagabond, and my second one is I may or may not turn into Jennifer Maguire. It's a possibility. I don't know. It's a very slim possibility, but those are my resolutions for 2017, and I hope you'll stick around to watch my transition. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.